case, Edward Atwater and Paul Anderson, Atwater's Cafe LLC, trading as Atwater's, 3601 Boston Street, Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Application for a second Class B beer, wine, and liquor license under provisions of Article 2B, 9-102B3A, requiring $500,000 in capital investment and a seating capacity for a minimum of 125 persons. Application includes a request for outdoor table service and on-premise catering. Everybody testify, please sit forward and raise your right hand.
Swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hecker.
Good afternoon. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg Martin, on behalf of the applicant. I'm joined by Eric Kunamoto, my colleague at Rosenberg Martin, Ned Atwater, and Paul Anderson, who are the licensee applicants here. With your permission, I'd like to proceed by way of a proffer. I've submitted a file folder full of exhibits, and I'd just like to go through them quickly. Everything is pretty straightforward, and it's set out in the file that I've handed out to you. As a preliminary matter, this is the second license issued to Mr. Atwater. He obtained a license for the Atwaters at Belvedere Square last year. It's a Class B license, and at that location, he does have 125 seats and $500,000 in capital investment in accordance with documentation that was submitted to the board previously. So the requirements for this license are as if they are for a first license: 75 seats, $500,000, and 51% in the average daily receipts from the sale of food. Mr. Atwater would testify that this is an application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. The applicants, as I mentioned, are Mr. Atwater and Mr. Anderson. Mr. Atwater and his wife each own 50% of Atwater's Cafe LLC, which is the entity in which the license will be held, and he is the owner and president of Atwater's LLC. Atwater's is a Baltimore-based purveyor and maker of traditional foods crafted by hand with fresh ingredients, often organic and seasonally local ingredients. There's a sample menu included in your file. It also includes a sample beer and wine menu if their license is approved. They do plan to offer a very limited selection of beer and wine at their new Canton Crossing location. There are four beers and 4 wines, I believe, on the menu right now. They do want to reserve the right to serve liquor at maybe a Sunday brunch if they want to have a Bloody Mary drink or something similar to that. So it is a beer, wine, and liquor license, although they are only planning to serve beer and wine at the present time. The restaurant will be located in the shops at Canton Crossing, as I mentioned, 3601 Boston Street. There is a site plan in the file that shows the shops of Canton Crossing development plan. Their proposed building is colored in red. They are actually only occupying half of that building. There's a bank on the other half of the building. But there are some photographs of the site under construction in the file as well that show the proposed location of the actual restaurant. There's also a floor plan in the file that shows 75 seats inside. There are 54 seats at tables. There are 21 seats at counters. Counters are typically often considered bar seats in restaurants, but at Atwater's, it's more of a lunch counter dining concept. There are some photographs from their Belvedere Square location in the file so you can get a flavor of what the bar seats actually, or counter seats actually look like. At Belvedere Square, I would note that they were considered to be regular seating, not bar seats, for purposes of meeting the seating requirement. There are also 36 outdoor seats along Boston Street. I also note that it doesn't require specific approval for outdoor seating and table service under the District at Canton Crossing PUD, a copy of which is also included in the file that I sent up to you there. There is a budget in the file as well that shows a capital investment of $541,000. Those are simply the tenant's costs. We weren't able to get the landlord's costs in time, but the landlord has another approximately $500,000 of investment. So they are well in excess of the $500,000 capital investment requirement for the new license. And based on Mr. Atwater's experience with the Belvedere Square location, and they also have, I believe, 4 other locations in the general Baltimore area, he doesn't expect that the sale of alcoholic beverages will ever overtake the sale of food at this location. It is primarily a food destination and not a bar, per se. We do not plan to offer live entertainment. Thank you. At this location, and their proposed hours of operation are 10 o'clock in the morning to 8 p.m. They may decide to stay open until 10 p.m. At some later date, but initially, at least, they expect to start with 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And they are expecting to open on or about April 1st. April 1st may be a little bit optimistic, but in April, hopefully. Mr. Anderson, who is present here today, is the Baltimore City licensee. He's currently the general manager of the Kenilworth location. He'll be coming to the Canton Crossing location as the general manager. He'll be responsible for the day-to-day operations.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Becker. Someone in the audience that have a cell phone that continues to go off. It's an iPhone 5, S, or C, and someone's getting a text message repeatedly, and it's in this direct vicinity. If you could turn it off or put it on vibrate, we would appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. I was beginning to think the ringing was in my ears.
Nope.
Simple, follow instructions.
Mr. Atwater does have 15 years' experience working in and managing restaurants with liquor licenses. As I mentioned, the Belvedere Square location does have a liquor license. They've held that license without incident since September of last year. Mr. Atwater has taken the alcoholic beverages safety training course. Mr. Anderson is scheduled to take it next week, so they will both be certified in alcoholic beverages safety. We do believe there's a need for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license at this location. Atwater's has a really unique dining concept, and the ability to serve even a limited variety of alcoholic beverages will enhance the experience of their customers. We have met with the Canton Community Association. We had a very positive meeting with them. There's a letter of support from them in the file, along with a petition in support of the application with 30 signatures of people who are looking forward to the restaurant opening up in Canton. Both Mr. Atwater and Mr. Anderson are familiar with the rules and regulations of the Liquor Board and would agree to abide by them. As I mentioned, we do believe there is a public need and desire for the license. It is supported by the local community. It's not expected to have any adverse impact on existing licensees, although there are other licenses in Canton Crossing. This is a unique dining experience. It's not expected to have any kind of adverse effect on the other licensees in that location. Likewise, it does offer a unique menu of traditional fare with locally sourced ingredients and will provide a uniqueness of services and will not have a negative impact on health, safety, or general welfare, as demonstrated by the fact that the community supports the issuance of the license. So with that, we're all here to answer any questions you might have, and we would request that the license be issued.
We have no questions.
Thank you.
We'll note that the Atwater's Cafe LLC is an active entity with the State Department of Assessments and Taxation. Furthermore, the character witnesses signing on the application, Joseph Myers, Vanessa Bennett, and Lorraine Rawl, are registered voters and property owners in the city of Baltimore. Based on that, we've admitted all of the exhibits that you have submitted to us, and we will go off the record and to our decision phase. February 20, 2014, Edward Atwater and Paul Anderson, Atwater's Cafe LLC, trading as Atwater's 3601 Boston Street. This is an application for a new B license under 2B9102B3A. We must look first for a $500,000 capital investment in order to approve the license. The applicant has provided several proposals and a capital investment breakdown showing $541,000 in investment in real estate improvements. And we marked that in at applicant's 6th exhibit, showing a $541,000 subtotal of hard costs. There are other supporting documents, including receipt from Cary Restaurant Shop proposals, construction proposals, and other. We note and received at applicant's 11 in evidence the planned unit development permitting outdoor tables at your location. The 12th exhibit is a letter from Daniel Tracy, Vice President of Canton Community Association, approving the plans for the business. And finally, a 13th exhibit is a short application in support of the project. So we'll go ahead and determine under 9102 that there indeed is the requisite finances, the requisite seating capacity, the ability to have outdoor table service and live entertainment based on the plan unit development. So all that's left for us to do now is to determine under 10202A a public need and desire for this request, de minimis impact on existing licensees, uniqueness of services and products to be offered by your business, and negligible impact on health, safety, and welfare of the community, things like crime, traffic, parking, and convenience. You're approved. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We're off the record.